So long as like Alchemy.
Can't wait for the damn season, man. Let's hurry up with this. All right, so let's get into my predictions for the NBA awards this season. I'm gonna break down each award into 3 categories. One being the money bet. Obviously, the guy who, if I was gonna put money on to win, that's who I'd put it on. The candidate, the guy that's gonna get some consideration and probably some votes, but won't win it. And then the dark horse, the guy that could surprise everybody and come out of nowhere and take the award. So we'll work our way up. First off, Coach of the Year. My money is on Brad Stevens. Okay, I feel like Boston Celtics are gonna take the _1 seed in the Eastern Conference with all the moves they've made. Brad Stevens is already highly respected and regarded amongst NBA circles, and just even the fans realize that he's just a phenomenal young coach. So I think it's time for him to get his glory. The candidate, Quinn Snyder, Utah Jazz. I just think that Utah is not going to have as steep as a fall as many of you think. Obviously, losing Gordon Hayward, they bring in Ricky Rubio. I'll talk more on their draft pick later. I think it's going to contribute right away. And I just think Quinn Snyder is maybe the most underrated coach in the league. Utah staying in the playoffs is going to finally give him some recognition. Now, the dark horse candidate for Coach of the Year is one Luke Walton. Laker fans, I know y'all are happy to hear this one. Now, I said dark horse, so again, I'm not putting my money on this. But if the Lakers compete for the 8th seed and everything falls into place like Magic and company would like it to be, where they're a competitive young team, Luke could get some consideration, man. He's, again, liked, young, respected, and we've seen what he did with the Warriors when Steve Kerr was out. All right, moving on to 6th Man of the Year, which I feel is probably the most boring category because, let's keep it real, how many of these guys are really 6 men, right? It's usually an overloaded team where a guy who's a starter comes off the bench, and that's what it be. And so this season, it's really the usual suspects. My money pick is Lou Williams, going back to LA with the Clippers. I think he's gonna get up a lot of shots. With obviously their health concerns, he may end up starting. I don't even know if he'll qualify. Candidate, again, Eric Gordon. So like I said, this isn't really the least interesting category to me. Eric Gordon, simply volume, right? In D'Antoni's system, coming off the bench, he's still going to get 10, 12 shots a night. Now with Chris Paul there, that may not be as such. He may not get as many looks as he would like. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but Chris Paul, he's a pounder of the ball. So we'll see how the new look Rockets integrate. I still expect him to be a candidate. My dark horse is Dario Saric of the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I haven't checked the depth charts, but I know Ben Simmons is there. Obviously, Embiid's got to stay healthy. And then you've got Fultz in the backcourt along with J.J. Redick. Now, if Sarge is, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, if Sarge starts, obviously this disqualifies him. But I feel like they may use him as the first big off the bench. He's versatile, and he's a guy that's aggressive and likes the ball in his hands. So I don't know if he fits with the first unit in Philadelphia. I really like his swag, man, and I think Philly is on to something with this young nucleus, barring health. So that's my dark horse, Dario Saric of the Sixers for 6th Man of the Year, if he's coming off the bench. Again, this is really early. Next category, Most Improved Player. Now, I feel pretty strongly about this, watching how things have developed over the summer and seeing the development of this player. My heavy money bet is on Brandon Ingram. I think he's going to give him 20 plus a night. Playing alongside Alonzo, and he's just taking that step. You always hear of that 2nd or that 3rd year player taking that step. Physically, he's gotten stronger, and most importantly, he's gotten a lot more confident with his skills. So I expect Ingram to really be the easy walk-away winner in this category of Most Improved. And another thing that's interesting with this category is, sometimes it's the biggest leap, right? A guy that went from being a scrub to being decent, right? It's harder to win this when you're already good and then you get a little better. And that's where my candidate comes in line is Devin Booker out in Phoenix. Now, everybody's kind of aware of him, right? He dropped 70 damn points in Boston. So everybody's aware of Devin Booker, and he got next, and he's just going to be one of the elite scorers in the league. But I think he's going to get some consideration because you're going to see him take another step forward where he's probably putting up 25 plus a night and might even sneak into the All-Star game. So he's my candidate. My dark horse is Jaylen Brown in Boston. Some of you have maybe heard me speak in some other videos about his development. I like him as a stretch four. I think he has the frame and the strength to play that position. And obviously losing a little bit of depth with the acquisitions that Boston made, I think that they're going to rely a lot heavier on Jaylen Brown, and he potentially could break out and be considered for this award, depending if this team, sniffs 60 wins, man. That's how these awards work, right? They reward winning. All right, Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year. She asked for my assist, Lonzo. All right, y'all know where I'm going with that. I think, y'all heard that. What is that, David Banner? Anyway, so my money bet's Lonzo Ball. I think volume. I think one, that he's getting the keys to the franchise. You got these other guards, De'Aaron Fox, Markelle Fultz, right? There's obstacles in their way as far as teammates and touches of the ball. Ben Simmons is apparently the point forward in Philadelphia. De'Aaron Fox is going to probably be playing behind George Hill. Lonzo Ball's the starter day one, and he's gonna hover around the 10 assist mark. It's just what it's gonna be. That's the way he plays. The hype. Again, the Lakers, they can't tank it. They can't have a disastrous season and only have 25, 30 wins, but I'm not expecting that. I think they may be hovering around that 8th seed. I think Lonzo's numbers are going to be there. I think his popularity, and I think the flashiness that he plays with, he should be a shoo-in for this Rookie of the Year. Now, his stiffest competition is going to come out of Philadelphia, excuse me, but it's not going to be Markelle Fultz. It's going to be Ben Simmons. Remember, Ben Simmons will qualify for this award, being it that he didn't play last year. And we've seen this before. Blake Griffin comes to mind. We've seen these guys where they were ineligible for their official rookie season. They come back that much stronger and that much more mature, kind of being around the league, and it does give them a distinct advantage. That said, I think Ben Simmons is going to be sharing the load. It's going to be getting split between Fultz as the ball handler. Sarge likes to, get it in. I've mentioned him. And then obviously Joel Embiid thinks he can do everything, man, is absolutely spectacular. So moving on to my dark horse candidate for Rookie of the Year. Some of y'all may not have even heard of this cat, Donovan Mitchell. I said I liked Utah and I liked Quinn Snyder to keep them in the playoffs. And one of the big reasons why I like Utah is this kid, Donovan Mitchell, man. I don't know if you saw him in Summer League, but he's got some Russell Westbrook DNA. Phenomenal athlete, super long, explosive, aggressive, going to be a good defender day one. As soon as he kind of gets familiar with the scouting reports in the league, and then you combine that with the coaching and nurturing of this Utah system with Quinn Snyder, I really like Donovan Mitchell, and I think he's going to be the steal of the draft. He's my dark horse candidate for Rookie of the Year. Moving on to Defensive Player of the Year, my money is, and this is again, maybe not one of the more exciting categories because it's the usual suspects, okay? First off, I'll state this. I'm disqualifying Draymond Green, not disqualifying him. He's right there. Nothing has changed. He's still in the prime of his career. I just think that Draymond tends to rub people the wrong way. And I think with other strong candidates and seeing that he won it last season, I think it's going to be hard for Draymond to win it again. So my money bet is Kawhi Leonard because he is the best on-ball defender. And so it sticks out to a casual NBA fan. When you turn on the TV, even if you don't know that much about the game, you can identify, wow, that guy really guards his man well, right? Some people don't recognize team and weak side defense and some of the other things that like a Draymond brings to the table. So Kawhi is my money bet. You know what I mean? I think that the NBA likes to spread the wealth and recognize all their superstars. The other candidate who was a candidate last season was Rudy Gobert. Now, the problem with Rudy Gobert is if this was 10 years ago where the three ball didn't dominate the sport and the switch all versatility that we've seen the Warriors kind of bring to the league, Gobert would more than likely win multiple defensive players of the year, the way he affects the paint. You just see guys altering, changing, not even wanting. I mean, when Warrior fans, if y'all watch, like some of these players, they don't even you don't even attack the paint. You come off the pick and you pull up because Gobert is in there, right? So his impact on the game is huge, but his versatility isn't there. You know what I mean? He does get eaten up and put in the spin cycle, if y'all remember, right on the pick and roll. So he'll be considered, but he is not going to win it. Y'all gonna like this dark horse one. I like this one. I don't think you're gonna hear this from too many people. My dark horse for defensive player of the year is Jimmy Butler. All right, before y'all go, what the hell, hell nah. Hear me out. One, he's going back to play with Tom Thibodeau, right? And we all know what Tibbs is about. It's about that side of the basketball. They're going to slow things down and grind it out. Now, he's playing with more talent, arguably, than he's ever played with. I know he was a young player on the Bulls team when Rose was really bouncing around, but this is arguably some of the most talent he's played with. Towns, Wiggins, Teague, Taj Gibson, right? So I think Tibbs is going to sell Jimmy Butler on the fact of like, look, dude, you don't have to spend all your energy trying to be the man offensively. We've got a lot of guys that can get buckets and we can spread the wealth. I need you to dial in and show these young guys how to play defense. So if Jimmy Butler, we know he has the physical tools, he's going to have the leadership with Tibbs, pushing him that way. If he really dials in and wants it, I think he can be a versatile lockdown type defender. All right, moving on to the big boy award, the MVP. Who y'all think it is? I want y'all to post in the comments, and we'll come back in retrospect, at the end of the season and see what's what. But y'all give me your lists in the comments. Hit me up, let me know. Say, Alchemy, you crazy, dog. And I know fans are biased. I'm biased. I'm fully aware of that. You noticed I've left the Warriors out of the mix on this. Is there a Warrior in the MVP candidate? We've got 2 former MVPs. I'm gonna tell you right now, no, I don't have a Warrior in this MVP category. Here's my theory. My money bet is on the king, LeBron James. I think everything that's transpired over the summer and during the finals, I think LeBron, we're gonna see a final kind of angry season out of LeBron. I think that one, obviously losing the finals. He wasn't the MVP last year, Russ winning that. And then the split up with, his little bro, Kyrie Irving, someone not wanting to play with LeBron. I think he takes all this to heart and consideration. And everybody's kind of waiting for his demise to fall off this throne. I think that he's going to be extremely motivated, one. So I don't think you're going to see the normal pace myself through the season because, like I said, I think we're going to get angry LeBron right out of the gate. And then I think that he's going to have to carry more of the load. Isaiah Thomas apparently will not be ready, for the regular season and what they've done with their roster. I think that just naturally on the basketball court, his numbers are going to have to increase. His ball handling and his dominance is going to have to increase missing Kyrie. So that's my money bet. The candidate is going to be Kyrie Irving. Okay, so we're going to see these two kind of compete for this award. Of course, they'll never admit it during the season. They're going to say, oh, I just want to win, and it's about the team and all the right things, right? They're too savvy to admit this. But Kyrie's going to be that candidate, and now I don't think necessarily he's going to have like Westbrook-type numbers, monster numbers. That won't be the argument. The argument will be he'll be the best player on what could potentially be a 60-win team and the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Now, my dark horse candidate, I waffled. I went back and forth on this. I almost wanted to say Anthony Davis, but the reason why I didn't put AD in here is because if they were to make the playoffs, it's going to be that 8th seed, right? That 8th or maybe 7th seed. And again, these awards, the way they kind of work is you kind of need to be winning. You need to have like that 50 win mark, right? To kind of get in there with that. And, Russ was kind of, did they get 50 last year? Did OKC get 50? Russ was an anomaly. He was an outlier last year just because of the triple double, right? So I don't think AD's team, and I think the numbers will get split with him and DeMarcus. So I thought about AD in this category. But who I ultimately decided on for my dark horse for the MVP is Karl Anthony Towns. Now, I have I have Minnesota definitely in the playoffs. We talked about Jimmy Butler and his role. Towns is ready to take that next step. We talk about that second, third year guy, Booker and Ingram in his second year. Towns, if he can really take the reins of this team. I know, Wiggins is there as well, but it's important, I think, that Towns becomes the man on this Minnesota Timberwolves team if they want to reach their potential. It can't be Wiggins and it can't be Butler. They need to understand that. But I think if they can inch towards home court and a fourth seed and kind of overachieve and like I said, get over 50 wins, Towns, man, the numbers will be there. He's likable. He's a young star, and he could sneak out of nowhere and be in this MVP category. All right, y'all, I don't know how long I rambled here. I hope you enjoyed my takes on this. Again, hit me back in the comments. Give me your predictions and your thoughts on this upcoming season's awards and whatnot. I'll be back at you with another video soon. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.